the woods, and you guys call to fall back and regroup, and it continues running, and you guys reconvene in the glade that Willem is being healed at, and in which Quinn is observing one of these saint statues. Uh, you guys have wrapped up your fight against the guardians of this statue, um, and as such, all of your conflicts. This is about a minute after all of that. You guys have finished up fighting all of your various issues, and another minute after that, you all reconnect at the. So only 2 minutes have passed since you guys started this confrontation and ran out into the woods to see what happened.
Yeah, we finished up our
I
discussion.
think it would be about 5 saving throws I'd have to make. One. Good. 1 level of fatigue. 2 levels of fatigue. Almost 3. I think that's 3. So Zarman's 3 levels of fatigue after that flight.
And Zale, what is your HP looking like?
Zell, with that, since technically there'd be like 1 more combat before we left, so he get 1 more D8.
And Rue has Aura Vitality up, so she's just like pouring some HP.
Yeah, I forget how many rounds she was into it, but she would be pumping that Aura Vitality into Zell.
How many?
I'd say 46.
I think she was like 1 or 2. No, she dropped it because she needed to cast.
She dropped it.
Yeah, that's right.
She doesn't have it. Never mind.
So from Zell's telling with that last skill, he's actually sitting at 56. That regen actually really helped. Yeah, I was at 32. That 1d8.
Zale's looking pretty rough. You're beat from flying for this whole entire thing. You return back to where you guys had finished out from this to see that the group seems to have gone through their own fight here, and Gwyn is observing some sort of statue that they've uncovered that is of Saint Ava.
So kind of eventually kind of flies down, hovers down. His clothes look like a fucking wreck, especially with like he looks like he has some wood chips in his hair, some tree bark, because he got fucking dragged across some trees when it grabs him at really high speed.
Take one look at Zale. Wow, you look like shit, and then look over to Zarma. Oh my gosh, Zarma, what's going on?
Oh, thanks, Hanu.
Come on, sit down. A little bit far away, and she's like glancing back at the statue, and then just pats somewhere like a few 100 feet away from it. I'll go. Fine, I'll heal you up. A Zale.
Thanks, Hanu. I feel so loved.
Also, and then as she's healing you, she'll relay everything that she mentioned in the message to you, or that I messaged. So let me just get the Aura Vitality up. Actually, I mean,
Sarah, I need you to make a survival check for me. Just for whether Leaf is able to track them all the way to their lair. Able to do it from a safe distance. No. But we're gonna see whether. Okay. You know, a cave system they've made their lair in, but you don't know which one is the entrance that they go in and out of.
I do.
I don't know if you can turn down the sensitivity of your mic a little bit. Right now.
Oh, well, sorry. We're sharing a mic, so I just need to like shove my face in his computer.
No, I think it's Mashad sound.
Yeah, it's Mashad's mic.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Yeah, you're fine.
I can move my face from his computer if I'm loud.
No, you're good.
No, you're good. It's just that we hear whatever's going on in the background of Mashad.
Alright, tell me
Yeah,
when to
is this
stop.
better?
I think it's good.
Alright.
Yeah, I quit. Yep.
Tell me when to stop, Rashad.
Never mind. As soon as we said.
So everything went quiet. That's so weird. I'm paying attention. Just tell me the total while I'm fixing this.
Oh, okay, let me go.
Yeah.
When in doubt, push to talk.
7, 12, 7, 8, plus 3, 44 right now. I'll add a few more.
You said 44?
Plus 11, so...
55.
Alright.
He should probably be good by that point.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm a max.
Alright, well, on Astri, she's finished whispering the stuff to Zale. I do want to say, most important thing is that statue has eyes and ears on it that don't belong to that who's depicted. It covers the radius of the keep as well as a little bit of the outside of Killamstead, so anything we say or do, there is awareness of it. So just be very wary of what you're going to reveal and that's whatever. I'll get into more specifics later, but yeah, the guardians of the statue seem to be corrupted. So, what happened on your end? It's just glancing around.
Anyway, Leaf is trying to figure out where it's going. But I think we found some okay things about it.
Okay.
It's not like any creature we ever faced before. It is fast, strong, can teleport when hit with range.
Okay.
It can teleport without even needing to be hit.
Yeah.
It's some kind of thief. After you hit it so many times, it seems to be harder to hit. If you hit it too many times in a short span.
Okay.
Didn't seem particularly wise since it was more of a predator.
Okay, gotcha.
Cunning.
Cold, fire, lightning, those things don't really work too well with it. And if you don't have a magic weapon, it's not going to do much either.
Alright, she's gonna point over to the Nagas. Yeah, those things were very weak against radiant, so... if you get what I'm talking about. Connected
Something
red...
vile has corrupted this area.
Yeah.
And stands up from where she's been praying, kneeling in front of that statue. I do not think that it is an evil that we can root out so easily. We must ask those that know more than us. In the meantime, we must find out what we are doing about this beast. We cannot simply run errant in this side.
Yeah. If anything, we need to tell the captain about this, just to keep an extra eye out until it's handled, but if anything, fall back, don't approach it.
And of course, we do have some local Grey Knights, but in terms of what we would like to ask them to do, I'm not sure
Yeah,
about anything involving them.
I had mentioned it to Grayson. He's actually heading over there right as we speak. But we should probably rest, and we can meet up with him in the morning.
Yeah. Sarmin's just looks still quite a bit out of breath.
Okay. How are you feeling? You look really, really out of it.
It was really difficult to try to keep up.
Okay. And she's going
Extended fights isn't my thing.
She is going to, like, do a few little medical tests, to eventually gauge that you have 3 levels of exhaustion, kind of thing, and be like, okay, I can work on one of those tonight, and if you're still feeling off, I can help you out in the morning.
Okay.
Alright.
So our plan is to talk to the Great Knights. I am concerned, as you've overheard my conversation with the shepherd, about the egg and what's it doing to our spells.
And what it could potentially do when we find more of them.
Exactly.
If it's the same or if it's different effects.
This is why you need to be good at punching things.
Exactly. This is... thank you. You can't deflect a punch magically. Except if you're really good, then you could deflect it.
Which also leads to my growing concern I shared with Connie. King's Peak might be a lot harder depending on how that dragon affects the magic around it. And of quite a theory that it might nullify magic, certain magic skills, but also amplify it as well. So, something to think about.
Yeah. If the tavern's still open, she's just gonna order a few warm drinks for everybody.
Yes, it is open.
Okay. It's just, you gotta hydrate, everyone. Stretch out those legs. The other thing that I had in mind, I don't know what you all gained as that boon when we left, but I'm gonna try to cast a spell to see if it actually... it's a divination one, to see if it actually holds. If it does, then that means the nature of the magic, though it is divination, comes from a different source, so hopefully it's not all frustration. Just so, like, hopefully me talking indirectly is actually addressing the issue, but if not, I can actually say it up front what I was thinking.
So, it's like, I understand.
Alright. Yep. Anyways, actually, what did you end up getting? I can locate things.
I can make things
Okay.
burst from my blood if I get hit.
Yep. Just gonna narrow your eyes. And who was that from?
That was from the dragon. What's his name again?
Yeah, you know, I forgot. It's not Zanzibar. Zaz. His name. Yeah, she knows.
Zaz,
But she's
That's
like,
Zazdash.
yeah, Zaz.
Zaz. Yeah, got it from
Just-
Zaz. That's what he gave me.
Mm-hmm. What's up with you and blood? Either way, anyways.
Rocks.
Just start stretching out. I had a few good arm wrestling competitions, but my arms are feeling like seaweed right now, so I'm gonna go back to sleep. I don't know about you guys.
Zarman's already heading to a bed.
You guys have accommodations here. You've never slept in them before, but they have been spruced up and made quite ready for your arrival. It's nice. You've got warm beds that have been prepared for you, and as you settle in to sleep, you manage to wear out some of that fatigue and exhaustion that has accrued over the last several nights of travel, long fights that you've seen in between, and with the walls of your keep around you, you finally feel some semblance of safety here inside of this strange country that you've been in for months, but is now only just starting to feel like a place that is familiar. In the morning, you hear the roasters crowing, and that is heard all the way from the village of Hillamstead, and the people that started working before the dawn has even started. And as you stretch out, there are servants who make you aware that breakfast has been prepared in the feast hall. Last time you were here, you were fighting an ogre queen, and it was a disaster, and it had been littered with bodies and blood, but there isn't a single stain left. In fact, quite a nice spread, as several of your Griffin's Guard have gotten pretty used to keeping the kitchens busy since you've been there. So they're more than prepared for your arrival. A couple of the Griffin's Guard are there themselves. The trio are kind of grogging off a bit of a hangover. The rest of them are evidently out on shifts already, patrolling the countryside. They heard about the fact that you lost the trail in a cave system in the woods just outside of Monte La Cache. They've been trying to surveil and narrow it down over the night. So your people are kind of already on that. Like it's in capable hands, as Lieutenant Bryson is there to eat breakfast with you and catch you up on what they're doing to aid in this, since Griffin's Guard have taken it on themselves to try and keep this region safe since they're here.
Yep. And she will take out 100 gold of diamond dust and cast Greater Restoration on Zarman to reduce his fatigue by 1 more further level.
So that puts Zarman down to 1 level of fatigue left.
Yep. She could use 2, but that's 5th level spell. For some reason I thought it was 4th level, but it's 5th level.
A lot of the soreness went away, but I'm still probably not going to be able to move too fast today.
Probably.
We'll just keep it easy.
Yeah.
Nice and do rest. Honestly, I think today will be more discussing of how to deal with this beast.
Mm-hmm. Well, now that I remembered what I was supposed to be doing today, she's gonna cast the Detect Dragon, to see if that actually goes off. Just to see if, I mean, probably won't be able to, at least to see if the spell is able to, you know what I'm talking about, I'm tired.
I forget, is divination spells working right now?
Oh, they shouldn't be, but she's gonna cast it to see if something that was given through Dragon, through Zaz, is able to go through.
It threw down radius. I was like, why do all the hexagons keep
Yep, that's me. I did it, guys. I did it. 150 foot. I could do within a mile, but she's like, I used up. I'm not gonna use up 2 5th level spells now. 5th level spells don't grow on trees. I wish they did, but they don't.
Hanu.
She's gonna look at her spell to be like, wow, it summoned her?
Burst open at the other end of it, and you see is this ray of sun, Valerie. The grand hall as you guys are having your morning day.
She's gonna look at her hands. I casted a spell and you arrived. Wow.
Just call it good luck. Actually, I was here on family business, believe it or not. Things have been very cray-cray as of recently, ever since, you know, well, we've been down a person in the Marvesi business, and I'm about the only person who's got any real magical talent, so I've been having to pull the weight. Honestly, it's been exhausting. Oh my god, are those crepes?
Yes, they are. Come on, have some. Also, just so you know, She's just gonna briefly explain the, weird magical statue stuff. If you say anything specific, something's gonna be aware of it, so be as vague as possible.
I do hand motions when I play Valerie.
Yes.
And they're quite fetch.
Yes. Of course.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry.
He's a very bodily actor. We're already aware of this.
Mm-hmm,
Yeah, it's good.
Mm-hmm.
So, as they say, if you got the scoop, make sure it's not too big or else all that ice cream's gonna fall over.
Oh, you better get yourself ready for a double scoop, girlfriend,
Wow.
because I'm here to help you out. Well, I figured we could probably help both of each other out for this, because, let's be honest, I don't really like having to put in all this work, and you guys are so capable, and I have the information that you need, so work together.
Blinks a few times. Oh. So I'm starts making like
Seeing Hanu just being hesitant.
Well, no, she's just.
Zorman will look over. What she got?
She's making like finger motions to where the layer might be. Wait, yeah, are you about that thing?
Hanu, I don't understand riddles. I'm a dropout.
Okay, no worries. Yeah, Zarman, take it over. I gotta go get some good water right now.
We actually were around a vague area where a cave system was around. In terms of a big
I totally
thing.
watched. You guys were fantastic. I was gonna totally jump in and handle it, but you seemed like you had it handled, so I went and decided to go have a little bit of a spa vacation for a moment. Dip back in, figured we could reconvene. That creature that you're hunting after, you might be interested to know, but do you remember that totally weird engineer guy?
Mm-hmm.
Well, turns out he's got some sort of odd obsession with dropping their experiments all over the place and keeping us Marvesi's super busy. And this just happens to be one of the many messed up super freakazoid experiments he's been dropping out into the world. Something about playing around with making celestials and fiends and stuff. It's been, like I said, cray-cray.
Okay.
Yeah, this particular one seemed to be a fiend.
Yeah, and unfortunately, most of my magic seems to be not exactly up its wheelhouse. Of course, I could just brute force it out, but that would be so exhausting.
Very Mousy can do brute force. This is news to me.
Well, I try not to do that too often. I am a lady after all.
Okay, then.
Shoots you the meanest icy glare that you've never seen out of her before, right? The whole room goes down a couple temperatures, and then she's like, "You're so funny," and it all goes back to being.
That was scary. Just like sits in his head.
Oh, irregardless, the Griffin's Guard here were actually looking around, trying to narrow the area down in terms of where it could have went. But it's around that area where, and Zarman, I'd imagine, has a map of the nearby area region right in front of him on that table or whatever.
I just want to point out that Nina is completely unaffected by the death glare.
But yeah, it seems to be around this area.
Adamar would be totally upset if I didn't come back and said that you guys had handled it and I didn't, so do me a major favor and just let me tag along.
Okay. Still a little sore from how fast I was flying in this armor. Ugh.
Yeah,
Sorry, we'll just
wings is
extend.
a lot harder. You should just try magic.
I don't know that one. Anyway. Zarman will outstretch his wings wide span, so it's like probably enveloping like half the table a little bit. Then we needed to talk to the Grey Knights about what their plans are, about what they're doing with that dragon egg.
Well, from the sounds of it, let's see, overheard my conversation last night. Seems they won't return to the base, the home base. So I don't find that wise.
I mean,
Seems to affect things around. Well, this is affecting things around it, and it seems like to more particular eyes, it's concerning.
And out of character to the Grey Knights actually have found a dragon egg over in Killamstead.
An actual dragon egg?
Yeah.
Oh, they were very quick on that one, weren't they?
I think they were like nearby, so it was like quick. But here's the thing, they haven't been able to leave because weird interference, which I guess you've eventually figured out on your own. But the fact that a few, like a guild that is specifically, most likely have seen some wild shit over the years, is very apprehensive about this is of great concern, at least to me. I don't know. So I'm kind of curious to see what actually is going on.
And of course, just so you're aware, I think it was conjuration and divination magics not working in this area while the egg's here.
And transmutation is 50-50 at best.
No way. Hold up a second. Bullshit!
Yeah, right?
Tries to cast a teleportation spell and it doesn't work.
Yeah, so I was trying to cast a specific spell, and it actually did the detect dragon go off?
It did.
It's okay, so I might have found a way to bypass it, but this is a very, very, very specific... I guess what the term is, backdoor? Anyways, yeah, it did go off, so good to know for future reference in case interference happens again.
What are you sensing it? What are you sensing it, Anna?
No, I just know that it held, but I really don't think it was anything 120 feet away, just in case.
Oh,
okay.
Nothing was. You didn't get anything detected, but the spell did go.
It successfully went off. Okay.
Just so you remember, the guidance successfully went off, but as soon as the magic became applicable to the situation to work, it just dissipated.
Okay.
Just for you to remember.
Then, if they're having
You can't know this until you get to the farm and test it there.
Okay. Well, that's what thing I was like.
Until we get to the farm, you don't know for sure if it's working.
Okay, no. If that's the case, then she would have held that off until we go there. Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, I totally forgot about that. Okay, but she's like, yeah, I'm gonna detect a spell soon, that might bypass it, but if not, yeah, then she'll have that conversation later. But yeah. You know, like, wanna tag along for that, or you just wanna have some breakfast?
But yeah.
I'm totally ready to eat on the go. Let's do this!
Also, where did he go for his spa? Was that in the Baltains, or did he go like some? Did he go to Omedo?
Oh, actually, now that you mentioned it, I did go to Omedo.
Yeah.
Did you know that your organization has a place that has a spa at it?
What the?
That forge.
Oh my god. Okay, no, I want. Yes, we need to figure that out very quickly.
There's something about a spa that is done from the fissures that come from a volcano that is just completely out of this world.
Oh, she's getting really excited about this. Oh, no way. How was it?
That being said, though, it was about the only good thing about the trip.
Okay.
They've gotten pretty militaristic over there recently. Scary, I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah. Alright, well...
Seems like the world's going up in arms right now.
We could dwell on that later right now. The only thing that should
Seems
matter...
like everybody needs a vacation.
I think everybody here just needs to eat their crepes and have a good walk.
What is this law? What does that mean?
Oh,
that'll be a long conversation.
Okay.
We can have it on the walk.
Okay, so have you ever been in like a big mud like section? No, yeah, what did they? Actually, I've never been to a spa before. Anyways, yeah, I've heard it's just something that
an experience. After we get one of this stuff, I will treat everybody.
Isn't a spa where they put mud on your face and
I thought so. Like you either bathe in it or they just like put it on.
It's like muddy.
Yeah.
But that is what you do when you're trying not to get eaten.
Bigger.
Sometimes you have to be okay with a little bit of a mess. That's the only way you can really get out the tough issues.
We're shiny as fuck right there.
Well, I think we should reach out to the Grey Knights and also inform them of this beast. And probably discuss what they're doing with the egg with their actual captain in charge.
Yep, so she's just gonna press the button and just tell Grayson, you know, we're heading over. You want us to get you anything to eat?
Oh, they have been quite accommodating for me.
Nice. We gotta go.
In fact, I think that it would be good and prudent for you to get here and meet Captain Claymore. I believe that perhaps you might be able to make him see more reason than I have.
Oh, okay.
Just try and get here quickly. My patience is wearing thin with these idiots.
Oh no. Okay.
We should probably go.
Speed walk. Actually, do we want a horse?
Yeah, yeah, we already have horses. And,
I know. It's like, do we want to take the walk there, or do we want to take our horses? Is what she's asking.
No, we should probably just take our things, honestly.
Okay.
Because depending, we could just continue being on the move to somewhere else.
Alrighty. Yeah, just remember the boundaries, and considering that it came from that direction, I'm really concerned of what we might find there. So, let's go.
It's
along the way though, to like the horses, as we kind of exit, kind of Zell would kind of nudge Ken's arm and kind of slow down, so we're walking behind them a little bit. So we're falling behind, but let's conversate real quick. And he'd be like, Simon, I'm a little scared.
Of what?
She mentioned something. That egg somehow resonating with her elven side more. Her elven side telling her that darkness and the fear. I do not know what will happen if I get close to this thing. Which frightens me.
I wonder. She has been in this area for a while, hasn't she?
Yeah.
I'm not sure how long they've been sitting around. You know how you had that weird vision from sitting within the statue? Maybe she saw something from being near the egg for too long.
He says she did trance around it. Well, a half trance, not full trance. And this might be, again, just a wild theory. But in a way, it's hard to explain my trance. It's almost like you get transported to a different dimension, different world. I wonder if in the way of trancing, she's able to communicate this thing. Or at least feel his presence. But I don't know what will happen if someone was to full transpliance.
Well, if we end up with it in our possession, you might want to just take the sleeping instead of that trance.
That's why I figured I don't want to risk whatever this thing does. And that might something have to do with why divination and conjuration does not work, especially with teleportation. And then trance is, in a way of leaving your body. I don't know, just thoughts in my head.
Yeah, try to take the sleeping while we're near the egg.
You're doing that. So I'm not looking forward to the dreams.
Well, I mean, it could be like some of the older times where sometimes we have to share a bed if you're desperate. No, that was more. That was more for me than it was for you at the time.
Well, it might be for me this time. We'll see.
Zara will nod his head.
He'll walk more with the group at that point.
Alright. Is Willem with the group? Or is he staying back?
Yeah, did Willem follow or did Gwen follow? Because we already know,
Willem followed with you back towards it, so currently Willem and Valerie are with you.
Okay, so Gwen's probably still analyzing the statue a bit.
Yeah. Basically, we kind of like wave off to Gwen. She's gonna stare at Willem, and then when he's like heavy stare, and then once he looks over, she's gonna just gingerly start looking away. If he turns around, just stare at him again, and then look away. Very slowly, but very obviously.
Hanu?
Oh.
Giving me that look, it's making me nervous.
That's just... I guess you sang for the big leagues and all of a sudden tiny turtles, you just don't want to talk to them anymore. Wow.
Hanu. I mean, I'm at most a small fry. You tried to butter me up, did you?
You left me hanging last night before everything went down. Just saying.
Well, I just happened to have noticed. Poor little pup seems to be noticed.
You kind of broke up there.
We've got hard shell. And then we've got this little pup feeding and howling at the moon. I think to need a little bit more solace. But you were fine, and well, not quite as much.
Actually, I was gonna ask if you wanted a drink last night, but you left me hanging for emotional support. How dare you! Wow.
Hanu, you're wounding me now. I was trying to do the right thing.
Sometimes the right thing hurts, doesn't it? She's like, well, honestly, I actually wanted to just check to see how you were doing. But, I mean, yeah, Zale did seem a little bit weird. And I don't think he was talking about, like, weird conversation that he used to have, but... How did you get here, though? When did you get here? I didn't expect you to be here.
Well, I just annoyed that Arvalian alchemist until she took me where I wanted her to, so...
Oh, that makes sense, because I'm like... No offense.
You realize that she's quite the sucker, infinite power, and then she just appeases to us idiots all the time. You've thought about what it is she's actually getting out of this. Must be quite the lonely spirit.
Yeah, I was gonna say that. I think it's like been a long time since she's had social interaction.
At first, I was actually kind of terrified of her, to be honest, but then I kind of started asking some more questions, and it realized that,
She's just like the rest of us, isn't she?
There's a few things curious that add up but don't add up with her. Kind of want to eventually speak to her more in depth, but then she starts like going into like monologues, and then she just seems like so amused by that I kind of just end up watching it instead of talking. But yeah, I end up doing that.
No, honestly, she's gotten me with that. You know, she would have quite a life as a performer. We should put her on a stage someday.
You know what? We should just have a talent division, as well as the fashion division too. You know, just...
It would be good for morale, wouldn't it?
Yeah,
A
it
talent
would.
show.
Yeah, I think so. Anyways, yeah, that was just it. It just pats him on the back. But also, that's like the same stuff she used to do when she was a young Hanu, just staring at him, and then really showing that she's looking away every single time. I learned everything from you, Willem, and I'm actually glad that you're branching out, and you performed in front of everybody. That's a big step.
Yes, it took quite a lot of drinking before you guys arrived to get to that stage.
Well,
another reason I was so tuckered out, and I did not at all see what we were running into. Gotta be more prepared around you people. Death follows you everywhere, it seems.
I think it's because, like, somebody with a star sign has that, so, like, kind of does, but, I mean... Alright, but... Just end up being deep in thought as we continue the trip.
And as you arrive the countryside across the bridge in the side of the ambush you had seen before, in the daylight it seems quite different. So at last you see the first farm on the outskirts of Kilms. As you arrive, a couple of the knights are out in the yard. They seem to be cleaning up a bunch of stuff. You can see blood stains and a pile of dead sheep that are being burned in the corner.
Oof. Beef is not thrilled. That's my description. Not thrilled. She's not having it.
No.
Don't like.
She's gonna look at her ring of animal influence, and then look at the sheep and clench her fist. No. We were too late.
Grayson would walk across the yard to you, away from where they're getting ready to build a pyre to burn these bodies from these sheep. And they'd be like,
"It's a sorry sight, isn't it?"
Yeah. I'm guessing that beast we were chasing came here first.
Yes. Slaughtered the entire herd here. Her entire life, actually. Quite devastated. But, of course, could have been worse.
She's gonna look back to what Willem said, and then look to the sheep. I'm gonna just give them a ritual, because I don't want these sheep to, for some reason, like, rise as undead sheep on us one of these days. No, wait, no, if they're burning, then that's fine.
What they're burning.
Yeah, okay, never mind. I'm just not used to burning. Anyways, okay.
Not using the meat because it seems that there was some sort of poison has made the meat vile, usable, true loss.
Okay.
Yeah, it seemed to be some kind of fiend from when we were chasing it there.
Having looked at...
I've seen quite a few fiends in my life, but that one seemed different. Not.
having seen the bodies before, did they also possess, like, have, like, some kind of weird corruption afterwards? As with these sheep?
No, they've just been mauled pretty terribly.
Okay, never mind. Alright.
They were in such a bad state, it was kind of hard to tell.
Okay, yeah. She would have did a funeral ceremony for them, for sure, because, I mean, that's more...
Yes, of course.
Whatever, but... Yeah, she'll just have a few words with the sheep. Like, Leaf, I think it's time we pay our respects to these sheep.
Just floating next to you, she just like nods very solemnly and does like the cross symbol, like where she like puts her hand above her head into her chest, shoulder to shoulder, whatever. She's like, yes, babies, and then she's gonna float down. Are there sheep carcass in front of us? Is that...
Yeah, there's
okay.
a whole pile of
Beautiful.
them.
She's gonna put her hand on whatever is closest and just give her love, like without words. She's just like, it's okay. You can move on now. And then she's gonna float back up in the air and like be really distracted by the clouds or something.
Yes, beautiful. That's right, you can't dwell on sadness too long.
No, you shouldn't. You shouldn't. They wouldn't want.
Actually, no, that's right.
That one kind of looks like a teacup, doesn't it?
Oh my gosh, it does! Whoa!
Yeah, see, I like that. Moving on. It's a good thing. She goes back to looking at clouds.
I wonder what... If clouds are made out of water, what would it... Start scratching the back of her neck? Wait, what would cloud tea taste like? Holy there's a lot of things I need to try. Huh.
It would taste like wet.
Well, I would hope so.
It tastes like marshmallow.
Oh, you know what? Wait.
Is there sugar in there? Sorry.
Zelda looks to Grace to this.
As you're discussing this, suddenly the pyre lights up. Flames rise over the carcasses, and from around the other side of it, you see flames snuffing out in his hands a dragonborn. And he's dressed in heavy plate armor, but he has this hood up over him, and it's mostly obscuring most of his face, other than a bit of the snout and fangs that come out from the inside of it. And his single bit of the light of his eyes that you can glowing out from underneath the hood, and one of them that seems to glow brighter than the other, this bright red color. And as he walks from around the flames of this pier, these burning sheep, he snuffs out the flames in his hands that he's lit it with. And Grayson crumbles and takes a step beside you guys, right? And he's like, and he says,
why are you here?
I don't think any communication about has come out to you about the fiend in the area. And of course, we are also curious about particular things we figured out about the dragon eggs so far.
Believe this dragon egg belongs more in your custody.
Wow.
That is what Grayson has tried to convince me of. I am under orders. It will remain thus. Nothing you say will convince me otherwise. If you have information you want to share, I will hear it.
That involves me just doing a very, very brief experiment. It has nothing to do any harm to either you or the egg. I just have a hunch, and I want to make sure it's correct, if given permission, and it is approximately, like, 120 feet away.
Follow me.
Okay.
He walks away from the burning pyre of corpses and leads you towards the barn. Inside, you can see where there's still mats of blood in the straw, strings and trails of it. And the back, in one of the stalls, on a pile of hay, they have the dragon egg.
Okay.
Black, and it radiates this ebbing glow, like shadows casting across the wall.
She's gonna look at the blood first. Are these two separate incidents, or did that creature get drawn into it?
Well, if the fiend was here first, they probably had a field day with all the animals.
Oh, okay, so this was probably moved afterwards or during. I'm curious to see if it... Okay, anyways, before I get really sidetracked, she will cast a spell and see if that pings off.
It does, and it detects that this is a dragon egg, indeed.
Alright, gives the thumbs up. Okay, so... different types of magic that it is familiar with goes through. Which leads more credence to exactly what happened with the Goblin Cities the first time around. I'm just mentioning something about that, so it might be drawing essence, maybe. I don't know, I'm not a scientist. Whatever, just back enough, thank you. She will bow to...
Hanu?
Yeah?
Ideas don't exist if you keep them inside of yourselves. Please share with the class.
Well, I was really bad at doing that, number one. Number two, it's just... from what I remember... it just seemed like a big explosion and then dragons came out. What if the Goblin Cities and whatever mechanisms that they used were just so full of magic that it, like, kind of incubated them so fast and it depowered them? Caused them to, you know, make flying motion with the hands. So so magic that is familiar with them, it makes sense because that's kind of like makes other motions too of, you know, something goes in, then it transforms. So instead of being siphoned in, the magic that is towards dragons is... I'm having a lot of half thoughts here, but do you catch my drift?
I think I know what you're saying.
Yeah. There's just like a lot that goes on in here, and sometimes a lot of threads, and I just can't connect them most of the time. But also, I'm not trained in the arcane. I don't know what the fuck I'm thinking about. But yeah, it was my theory. Spells that most likely are based around them, maybe source from them, goes through because it emits instead of gets siphoned in.
Zarman will just look to the Dragonborn man and say, dragon magic seems to work around it, even if it's of the schools that aren't working around it. Because apparently conjuration and divination magic just outright doesn't work in any region nearby. Even in Monte La Cache, we couldn't get certain schools of magic to work.
So, this is confirmation that this egg is the source of this interruption. It's good to know.
And the specific schools in question are conjuration, divination, and transmutation half the time. And that might be different with all eggs. We don't know yet. So, this particular dragon, I'm not quite sure how much you know of this type, looking at the black scales on the rocky egg.
We have identified this as an egg of the same type as Sumagra. Black Fiend. As such, it is a sign. The worst of all dragons. He will take responsibility. There are no others who are prepared to face against something like this. You have tried to destroy it. It has proven difficult. Quinn suddenly takes a step forward and goes, "You tried to destroy a life that has not been born yet. Call yourselves noble knights." He looks at her and he goes, "This is a creature of evil. It's the responsibility of knights. Banish the world of such fiends. Protect all that is good." He goes, "Things that have not been are neither good nor bad. You only change your known nature, his action. That is not for me to decide. It's for my betters." Grayson growls and goes, "Yes, my foolish son, who often has grand and lofty ideals and takes off more than he can chew. I will most certainly be having words with him about this."
She's gonna motion Gwen over and look at the egg. Do you think it's aware of what's around it right now? Like it can listen in and knows what happened to it?
I do not know why. I am certain that this is true.
I see. I mean, in some essence, some part of it is connected to Kishara, and she's aware in a certain degree, must have the same state of it. It's gonna, like, is there a certain, like, area where they, if we walk to it, they'll, like, have us back off, or are we able to
No, it's
it?
just in a, they've just got it in one of the stalls in the barn currently.
You know, they're sitting here waiting for actual transport, because it's not like we can pick it up and run super far with it anyway.
I just didn't know if they had, like, people guarding it, like, and they'd be like,
No,
yo, back off!
If they had that, it would have been outside the bar.
Yeah.
Yeah, outside of the barn.
Alright, but she's just gonna wave her over and just kneel down and be like, just whisper to it. Yeah, I'm really sorry.
You mentioned dragon eggs, or dragon magic works here, right, Hunter?
Yeah.
Zarman will cast the voice of the dragon onto himself, and then in Draconic will say, "If you can hear us, my name is Zarman. I don't know if you happen to know what your name is." Looking at the dragon egg while speaking.
Gives you a thumbs up. Yeah.
And he's saying it in Draconic.
Yeah, she doesn't know what's going on. She just says, yeah, sit up, support you, whatever's going on here.
His name here. I just gotta find it.
She's gonna talk back.
Light would glow, just this super intense ebb, as suddenly the entire place, it's like, because it casts a glow of darkness, what it actually looks like is like all of the light in the area is being sucked out of the room, and it gets plunged into more darkness. The radius of darkness that moves from the outsides and the corners of the room until everything gets darker and darker. And eventually, you would hear only its name responded to you, and I will find it in here eventually.
She's gonna, like, put a little blanket around it so it's more comfortable. Just be like, there you go, it's good.
So many dragons in this.
Aww. It's like they're everywhere and they just came back and they're going through Ellis Island right now. It's just...
Be on the next page.
Okay.
Alright, guys. I'm gonna spell this one for you guys.
Oh boy.
Thank you.
Alright. We're gonna spell it first, and then I'll pronounce it
He's
for
like
you.
hiding this.
Yes.
I don't even know.
Sarandolotor.
I have no idea.
Sarandoclator.
Doctor.
That's absolutely.
I probably missed some letters, but that's what I was able to hear.
Sarandoclator.
Sarandolotor.
So Saren, gotcha. All right, cool.
Hey,
Okay,
Saren.
Saren.
Yes.
It's
Yes.
a dinosaur.
Yep, you got it. It's Saren. You guys have got it already.
Okay.
Wait a second, that's
Rachel
why
is here to miss the Mass Effect references.
Well, that's why we have
Yeah.
Sarenscape, and that's why it has a dragon on it. Whoa!
I don't know anything you guys are talking about.
Is this dragon about to pop out as a DJ?
So I have Sarah to pop out as a DJ.
Yeah. I'll be the DJ.
Whoa!
There we
Saren
go.
and the Reapers. Yep.
Oh yeah.
Ready.
Okay. On that note, as you've learned the name of the dragon, and you're left with your negotiations about what to do with the fiend that you've come across. We are gonna take like a 15-20 minute break here, guys. Grabbing some something to drink, something to eat, use the restroom, then
Yep.
we'll get back into it.
As Armin's talking to it, she's kind of just like propping up pillows and stuff that she like totally didn't steal from the inn. So like, oh, there you go.
Which is technically our inn. So
Yep.
we stole from our own inn.
Don't worry. This Kelmstead is also our property. It's fine. Just
Technically not, but you know,
shush.
it was sponsored by one of our members.
I know. Hush you.
I'm still very curious what happens when like a full elf trances like near dragons.
Fucking, I knew that's exactly what you were going at with that. I'm like, just stick to sleeping around here.
Here's the thing. The
I'm not gonna do it. No, Zell's afraid.
Well,
Zell's
yeah.
not gonna do it. I just wonder what happens. I just wonder what happens if like I don't know the dragon nearby at one point and I trance.
That was like kind of what...
That could have been possibly what we ran into that one time where you
Craven.
tranced into fucking statue anyway.
Well, the other thing is Craven had mentioned something that he was able to see it, but it was with dragon bones, so who knows what goes on when that...
I don't
realm.
know. At least
Yeah,
they're
when
very
a
interesting.
dragon dies, right? It's actually a really big deal, guys. It doesn't actually leave the environment. It becomes part of it, and it influences the place that it died at forever afterwards. You will never, you can't uncurse it, you can't unhallow it or hallow over it or anything like that. A dragon's death marks the landscape. The type of dragon, it will change the landscape. So just like dragons have their layers, if a dragon dies in its layer, even outside of it, it will change the environment around the type of dragon that it is.
Oh,
So,
okay.
you can have sites where dragons have had wars are some of the most beautiful places in the world because of the way that different environments that don't normally exist end up existing in the same places.
So it was like a hilly area here, right? Which makes me think these hills originally belong here.
But yes, we will actually be right back now.
Okay.
I just
Like, huh.
Yep.
No, it's an
Hey,
interesting thing to
I'm
learn
talking to myself, don't worry guys. Just like, huh.
Yeah, Zarman just pops voice of the dragon, starts talking to an egg.
Yeah, she's like, I'm gonna talk to it.
So far, Zarman has already made more progress than any of those motherfuckers who's been here for however long they have
I
been.
know, right? So I was like, I'm just gonna talk nicely to it, and Zarman's gonna actually get results. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be good. Hey,
about. Yeah, no, like
props and
like I
pillows
said,
here.
I was never gonna attempt to Zelda transmute this thing. I'm scared shitless what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Because elves and dragons have never been good in history. We're either the bestest friends or the worst enemies.
Listen,
So
you're gonna see the polymorphed form of this dragon. It's just gonna be a more emo version of you, but with like black hair.
No.
You just
No.
You don't understand.
Black hair, freaking purple eyes, like the literal.
I know, right? Everybody thinks I'm evil, but I'm just misunderstood.
I would hate this thing if they also freaking games like had like levels and it's shapeshift for like a blade chanter. I would fucking
yeah,
upset.
It's so fucking great. I love it. Also, I'll be right back.
But yeah, at least it's an interesting thing. I was thinking about. I was just like, fuck. If Zelda Trance is like on like, if he doesn't know like we don't know the dragons nearby any trances, that's gonna be interesting. Let's see. I can't control it because it's trans and like oh something's happening. But yeah. Or giving the half elf was just a half elf that she did like a partial trance because it seems like whatever the partial trance did to her freaked her the hell out.
Yep.
So yeah, don't know.
Also, the things that sorry, I just got back. What were you saying?
Oh, you're good. Oh, I was just saying like it'd be interesting to ask Pridwin why that might be the case of an elf going to a trance next to a dragon egg and what that means. It's a very interesting question. I would like to ask Pridwin at one point.
But no, the whole concept she was trying to go through is like black holes and white holes, but I don't think that's really stated in here. But she's making motions of a black hole, just singularity, and then a little.
No, I'm telling you what you're
She's like,
trying to
yeah.
get.
She's making a motion of that.
It's, like, wow. It's very advanced for what you're talking about.
Yeah, so it's like I feel. Well, this is the one thing. I remember reading this one post before about like. So I just read a book that appeared, but like that was like a physics book from like a few years right before the atom was officially like discovered, and so it's just like. Reading into this is just people are so freaking angry trying to figure out what electrons were and shit. All it's her is like, there's like the concept I have, but I don't know how to explain. Making all these hand motions and shit.
Indeed.
And I was just and this like, and then what? Starts doing charades. And then eventually Zale casts a spell that's just like singularity or some shit. Yeah, it's like that!
Later on, it's funny once the game starts so it's a singularity black hole.
I know, it's like that's what I was talking about. Wow.
And I do have an idea for a sword that does the same thing. It's actually pretty cool.
Yeah, so she'll be like snapping fingers. Exactly. It's like I have a background in astronomy, but I don't know what I'm talking about yet.
Yeah, it's like. You're basically the philosophers that people think are crazy.
Yeah, basically. Yeah.
And then later on in years, you're like, wait, she was right.
I was right.
Zell's like the one who actually like writes it on paper and everyone believes, but he just takes it from you and is like, huh, okay, so that's what she meant. Okay, just articulate this right.
Yeah.
In mathematical terms.
Mm-hmm. It's just like, what if? And then what if that? And then it is. Whoa. Wow. Amazing.
Yeah, I mean, this thing is definitely a black hole, if new. By definition. The way how it sucks up everything and it's cooling light. But yeah, the freaking reveal that this might be freaking Sumagra was just like, fuck, shit.
It's the same type of dragon as Sumagra, so black.
Yeah.
Sumagra's tiny brother that everybody forgot about.
It's a mini Sumagra.
Yeah.
Like mini me. Just a finger thing. That's crap.
Look, listen, I just wanted to make friends, but my big brother just ruined it all for me.
Oh my god, it's freaking ACT, and that would be
That's
fun
why.
as hell and the worst thing ever. An ACT dragon. But the interesting thing about it is that, like, that the one other thing I would begin to think about this is that now that dragons are introduced into the world and they get powerful enough, the Shadow King could be a thing. Because now he has his vessels that were strong enough to carry him are back.
Yeah.
But if they're all coming back in those eggs, it won't be for a while.
Yeah, it's gonna, once somebody starts being like, let's make it an ancient, is when we're ever like, whoa, hold up. Wait one second. No.
Yeah, that's like an ancient and not like, I won't, like I said, we're not gonna like control them or anything, but not like with like not knowing when it's gonna happen. 'Cause I feel like a lot of our things in the future for like the Paradox Sea Society, it's just like a deal wellness check on dragons, being like, how are you feeling? Not having like weird dreams of the Shadow King or anything.
Yeah. Here, just drink this tea. It's gonna help that. Don't worry about that.
But imagine that's gonna be definitely our future with that, because that will be an eventual thing where, since dragons are reintroduced, that leaves the Shadow King this perfect vessel he wants.
I mean, there's probably a way that we can figure things out of like a really, really high level spell or high magic spell that just prevents the Shadow King from like possessing something.
Elven high magic.
I know. So you're just like, nope.
Like,
how about not?
Probably elven high magic, but probably the highest form of it.
Yeah,
probably.
That will be what it's called. Can you not? But it's in like ancient Elvish.
So it sounds cooler.
Can you? And for not, it's draconic.
Oh yeah. Can you not?
Can you? Sikablaya.
What? Wow.
There you go.
Can you Fusroda?
Yeah, but I mean that in that case, the only thing at that point would be even to replicate that would be probably Elven High Magic, which then I need me to learn. Plus, I need for that one, I need 10 other people who know Elven High Magic to even shoot that one off, and that is both high risk and very draining. So. But it's definitely possible. Definitely a Shaola, because there probably is high mages in Shaola with all the things they do. So it would definitely be a later, probably around the time we go to Shaola, and like my backstory arc might come up. So hey, at least my level 16 of my figure something I have to do. But yeah, no. Oh, it's really interesting going back to lower levels. I've leveled around now. The transient thing with dragons. It's definitely want to ask further about that. What that means. Cause no, dragons are Kishara's favorite child. But the Eladrin were the first to come to this world as sentient, as intelligent. Are also came to the world too at the same time. Interesting. Very interesting. Hear your thoughts about it.
Oof. Oof. Okay, so I gotta go write that shit down. So just so
I'll admit I may have missed a few letters, but that was the letters I can get down in that chat.
Nice. But what does 3 levels of exhaustion get you? I need to look at that chart.
So the first level makes it to where you cannot sprint or dash. The second level gives you disadvantage on all physical ability checks.
Okay.
The third level makes it to where it cuts your speed in half and you cannot travel at a fast pace.
Okay, gotcha.
So by the end of that flight, Zarman was actually moving only at 30 feet, 15 feet walking and 20-foot fly.
Okay, gotcha. First level, and then let's go make sure all these spells are updated. Okay. So, I know eventually it's probably gonna give you like disadvantage on the attacks, right?
That would have been 4th level.
4th level? Okay. Yeah.
I was 1 off on that.
She was just like, my boy!
Thankfully my first 2 saving throws were alright, but the worst that could have happened is I would have failed all 5.
Yeah. She's just like,
but I at least passed 2 of them, so...
I can't have you be at moving half the speed, look at you! No!
Yeah, and then the long rest got rid of that 3 because we were in a haven.
Yeah.
We were inside our fucking fort.
Mm-hmm.
And then you got rid of stage 2, and then stage 1 can be gotten rid of anywhere. I don't need a haven for one layer of it, so...
Yep. Gosh, for some reason I thought Greater Restoration was like 4th level, so I was looking at my spells, I'm like, why is it not here? I'm pretty sure we got it. And then once I added it in, I'm like, oh shit, it's 5th level. Okay. Wow.
Yeah. Good old 5th level Greater Restoration. That's why Greater Restoration is so like you don't get it for a while in like campaigns. And it's just like when you get it, it's like the holy beacon. It's like, oh my god, certain like freaking curses or status effects I can get rid of now.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
They're like permanent, like madness. Like madness is the good one.
Mm-hmm.
Long-term madness.
Yeah.
Only created by Greater Restoration.
See.
But the DM who did Crystal Straw for me a while back played a lot with like stress, like Darkest Dungeon, and madness, and freaking long-term madness, and freaking when you finally got the 9th level, man, that Greater Restoration was a lifesaver so much.
Mm-hmm. Deal with some wild madness stuff in Darkest Dungeon. I had to use Greater Restoration a few times. Just throwing diamond powder in people's faces. One of them, it just was so high level, it took, I think, 2 or 3 castings for it to actually go through.
Yeah.
Because I had to use it was that wild that I had to do a really high DC Arcana check for that.
And also, by the way, this is the question I said would before, but I actually want to have an opinion. What is your opinion of like trying the gauntlet to absorb the Goblin City side crystals?
I think that should be talked with Fredwin first.
I do, but he wasn't the one. He made the plan, but the one who created it it's a different plan.
I'm just saying, talk to the super genius before you try it, or like that one thing we had managed to talk to with Bird Albion.
Yeah.
Just to talk the theory. Talk to a supercomputer, Fredwin, or that one computer. You know.
Yeah, she's just like because she doesn't. She's like, I don't know.
It's an interesting theory. It's very, and it's like the thing where it's just like. There's also the Elf and the Alchemist too that's closer by too.
Yeah, Alien Alchemist could also be a good one to bounce that idea off of.
I mean, the only thing that she would do is like, okay, so I'm just gonna cast, oh shit, I can't do augury! No! Yeah, she would have just first double-checked with the gods. Hey, is this okay? Is
this course of action a good idea?
Yeah, it's just a couple of seconds. But she's like, huh, she's just extremely unfamiliar with goblin technology and, like, whatever to know if that's a good idea, but she's extremely curious, though.
Yeah, it's a thing where, like, it's both a curiosity to see what happens, but also if this can neutralize the effects of goblin runes on some of the goblins, and maybe not make them crazy, then we can save them as well by just neutralizing the source. But again, it's a conversation that Zell is gonna have with other people that are smart or smarter than him, as that is going to be interesting. And at the end of the day, no matter what theories is given, or if someone does give a fact,
what hypotheses were given,
yeah, you're still gonna test it. There is no.
I'm gonna just pin that message for the fatigue, because I'm gonna forget about that shit.
Yeah.
Pinning.
My theory is that I think I suffer fatigue. I might suffer strife, because it's gonna be a lot of energy.
I mean, if it's a mental affecting energy, it's gonna try to do something to you, is all I'm gonna say.
Yeah. But it's absorbed into the thing, and the gauntlet has been known to absorb almost an infinite amount of energy, so it's gonna be interesting to see. So, definitely be interesting.
The fuck? Oh, something's pressing up against my keyboard. That's like a weird sound. And I was like, what's going on? Why can't I get that minimized menu out of here? No, okay, no, it's my pillow is on my keyboard, so let's press something.
In case you want that one too.
Oh boy.
I had the page open still, so I'm like, there you go.
That shit. Pin that shit.
Oh yeah, I don't know if you were in chat when we were talking about it, Machad. Actually, you were the one who brought it up. Never mind. The whole modifiers, and then I also brought up after that. You can just take a level of fatigue to not take a critical hit if you want to.
Yeah.
Taking one level of fatigue is just literally cannot sprint or dash. So I mean, it's fine to take the first level.
I feel that. Grading papers and working off. Yeah. I mean, that's important, grading papers. Just planning.
We are back. We've just been listening to you guys RP this entire time.
We've been talking.
Talking about you talking. We're talking about you talking.
Yeah, like we've been admiring the game and like you guys RPing together. We've been like proud parents, even though I'm not involved in it.
But you're both doing the anime sideline. See, so this is why.
Exactly.
For you guys at this juncture, I'm gonna kind of break it down a little bit simply. We don't have everybody here on it anyways, and it's mostly making decisions on where you guys are gonna go next. You guys are at a juncture of deciding how you want to handle the fiend. The Griffin's Guard already told you that they're looking into this, right? And that they think it's their responsibility to protect this. Would happily take this order from you guys, and you know they're capable, right? They're your own people as well, right? So you could have the Griffin's Guard try to handle this scenario. You could handle it personally, right? But it would take you time that you could be going towards King's Peak and meeting Rana and handling the situation that you were there. Or you could try to convince the Grey Knights to do it, and or some combination thereof, right?
Oh.
Working with the Griffin's Guard, working with the Grey Knights, or getting the Grey Knights and the Griffin's Guard to work together, right? On any one of these things, if you want to convince the Grey Knights to operate, it's going to be a persuasion check, right? Whether you're doing it with you or getting them to work with the Grey Knights. If you get them to work with you, because Grayson is like a member of your party, it's a lower DC. But if you do it with getting them to work with your Griffin's Guard, this sort of like we can handle it on our own mentality will come in, and it increases the DC. Oh yeah, that's the only mechanical thing we've really got to worry about for this session, is you guys discussing amongst yourselves where you want that to go, and then if you decide you want to get the Grey Knights involved in it, making a persuasion check to convince them of that.
Yeah, I mean, since we just made a lot of progress with it, we'd be like, hey, we'd help you out with this, and you help us out with that.
The thing is, I guess, what my kind of main kind of thing, Zell's main kind of thing, was just like, where should we, the Paradoxes, get involved? If not at all, do we want to be involved with the Fiend at all, or do we want to go to King's Peak and try to butt the head of the army? It's kind of the main kind of thing, and at that point, then we can decide, who to go with.
She really does not want the Griffin's Guards to get hurt. They're her little baby turtles. She's like, no.
But they're gonna eventually join combat with Alphas at one point.
Well, that's why she wants at least the Grey Knights to at least team up with them.
So
she's all with that one.
Main question: Do we want to handle?
You mentioned that as a Dragonborn speaks in Draconic. So as a Dragonborn, with Captain Claiborne speaking Draconic, and you currently being under Voice of the Dragon, you're in a certain area of being able to. I believe that's how that spell works, correct? It helps you be able to, convince people who speak and understand Draconic more.
It gives me the way how you reworked the spell. It gives an expertise die on persuasion, intimidation, or deception checks. In addition, it grants you. It allows your expertise die in that area to go up to a D10. So it's basically a free expertise die size. Is all it really is for a second level spell.
Got you. All right, I wasn't certain.
And it also it also teaches person Draconic for the duration of the spell as well. But Zarman already knew it, so it's just for the die at this point.
Got you. I wasn't certain if they needed to understand Draconic for the effects of the spell to go on it, but if it doesn't say it in there, then we're good. In which case, you're still underneath the effects of that spell, though, and so.
Yeah.
Oh, hello, Anina.
Welcome back. Yeah, that's just kind of the major thing. Just like Zella mentioned, just like, where do we want to put ourselves in this? Do we want to stay here and figure out this fiend thing and take it down, but it will definitely delay us from King's Peak, and possibly making King's Peak a lot more difficult? Or do we leave it to the Grey Knights and the Griffin's Guard to handle this thing, and us to handle the upcoming army?
The Grey Knights aren't going to be leaving anytime soon until they get back up here. So they're going to be here for a while. Might as well try to see if they can help the Griffin's Guards out. And plus, the
Yeah.
Griffin's Guard is more of a is more familiar with, you know, fighting humanoids. This is not a humanoid, and these guys are the Witchers, so help each other out.
Yeah. No, I totally agree on that. Like,
Yep.
I just like the main thing is just like, so we're leaving the Griffin's Guard and the Grey Knights that we're trying to convince to handle the Fiend while we go to King's Peak.
She's just
Is what I
gonna
want to try.
look to Valerie to see if that's a, like, be like, peace out, guys, bye.
And I mean, there was one more question of Zarman wanted to ask the Saren.
Because, I mean, it could be that, gosh.
Like, mechanically, I'm thinking about this is that, and like just like straight kind of like summing like mechanically wise, we can go to the Fiend. The Fiend might lead us to more leads and more understanding of the engineer, while also doing a potentially companion mission for Valerie.
Yeah.
Or we have King's Peak, which is a ongoing and growing threat, which we don't know will explode. And we have Toronto right now, who's reconnaissance on it, and that's more of on the ticking time clock.
Like,
that one.
We're basically just gonna like let's talk about it like in terms of day like travel time. Basically, day. So, if we try to handle this, and if things get too difficult, we can pull back and then have the two factions just deal with it. You could bring one of them along. Try to do that. And
I just worry about the cave system, because if that cave system's massive, it might be more.
Yeah, the problem is both actually require a lot of attention, is where Mashon's getting with this.
Yeah. That's what I'm like, it's definitely, and it's the thing where like this is kind of one of the cases where we can't split the group. We have to focus as a group in one kind of like attention wise, and we have other resources to allocate to them. It's just more of the questions like our main attention, the paradoxes. Where do we want our attention to be?
Here's the
Because
thing.
that's going to be important.
If we manage to do that, we also can, if we help Valerie out, she might actually be able to use some teleportation stuff to help us get there faster. I mean, her whole thing's about traveling. So we could bring this up to her.
Off the top of my head is, if we end up splitting the paradoxes, one of us could take the Grey Knights, one of us can take Griffin's Guard. We go both ways, but you know, that is also very risky, considering what we saw.
Honestly, no, that is very risky.
And that's just from one threat.
Because
it's kind of the case where it's just like,
if we're talking about like the Grey Knights are able to track things down pretty good, the most likely they have survival stuff. So that can help.
Right. If we were to split the party in that way, we'd take the Grey Knights to go for the Fiend, and we would also offer to house the Dragon Egg inside Mont de la Cache, so that way it's not in a barn. That's super easy to get into. And then Griffin's Guard can follow whoever's going for the goblins. And then, of course, as one finishes their objective, we go back to try to regroup. And, of course, we have the badges to communicate. But in that particular situation, we'd be at half our group strength in the combat scenarios.
Yeah, because here's the thing. We're not going to be able to get to King Pink's is all the way over there. Like...
Right, but if we have... The main concern is if we don't move on to King's Peak quicker, then... that direction, we're worried about the damage it can be doing. And we are aware that Marcellus's family farm is over there.
So here's the thing.
And King's Peak is super close.
We're able to fast travel easier. We're able to push it and recover ground if Willem's in the party. So...
Yeah, so I was thinking, if we were to split the party, one group with the Grey Knights and Valerie would look for the motherfucker Fiend. And then the other group with Willem and the Griffin's Guard would go that direction. The people going for the Fiend wouldn't need the carts or anything. They would just need the riding horses and then whatever the Grey Knights have to for their own travel.
So basically,
and then the group going that way will take the normal supplies and go that way.
Because the one thing that we were talking about, the issue with teleportation stuff, is that we have the other
with the egg around. We also have the egg around here too. So
I'm saying in terms of like we have people who are like the people that we hire for the caravan is why we can't really teleport things. So if one group has all that other stuff, then the other group, within a certain radius, I'm pretty sure we can at least teleport to you guys. So, like, there's...
but then you'd also have the horses.
We can teleport the horses, don't worry about that.
It would have to take multiple trips, and that could be an issue in and of itself.
So, we just put the horses in the bag of holding, it's fine, it's okay.
God. But irregardless, wrong, right? If we were to split the party, teleportation will just outright be an issue in general. Without the help of the Alvalian Alchemist, of course. Alvalian Alchemist would play a big role in trying to keep us grouped together.
Yeah, that's fine. She only says,
just keep in mind, she can only move so many people per hour. I just forget the number.
I think it was like 10 or something. It's us plus 2 NPCs, so if we're splitting.
Normally, she can only move like 10 people.
Yeah, so if anything, 4 people with their horses is enough.
With their horses, plus fucking another person with their horse. And then also we'd have the rest of the caravan, all of our shit, and a whole group of people.
I'm saying
in terms of like the Griffin's Guard or the Grey Knights.
You guys carry those. Whoever's going to like King's Peak is carrying all that other stuff, and then I mean most likely Valerie's just gonna ditch right afterwards. So I don't need to worry about her teleporting.
The other thing we could ask is for the Griffin's Guard to move ahead with our shit.
Yeah.
Now, if we're going to really try to use the Alvalian Alchemist to the full potential, we send the Griffin's Guard with our shit to start going down the road towards King's Peak.
Yeah.
We take the Grey Knights ourselves, go deal with that situation. Once we're done with it and escort the Grey Knights out, we will teleport to the Alvalian Alchemist Tower, and then teleport land with where the Griffin's Guard took our shit.
Yeah, that's fine.
So they will start to travel with our shit for us, and start heading that direction for us.
Yeah.
While we deal with the situation, and then that actually sounds like a good plan.
Yeah.
So basically, just to get it down, basically the idea is, just in my mind, Paradoxus will go with the Grey Knights to defeat the Fiend. While in the meantime, we send the Griffin's Guard with our supplies and most of the stuff we need probably for the prep for King's Peak along ahead of us to.
Yeah, down the road.
And then
and then we get out of the range of the egg because we gotta get out of the range of the egg. And then
assuming the tower can't reach within the range of the egg, but it probably does.
Well, here's the thing: like we're able to use the communicators, so we know.
And Willem was able to be transported to Monte La Cache after begging the Alvalian Alchemist. I'm assuming her tower's working.
Yeah.
So it's bypassed. Yeah. So in that case, yeah. So then basically to then transport us probably on Tirana because I think it goes off of the brooches.
You guys have been able to communicate with each other through your brooches, and Willem being able to be teleported here. Both of those are clues that you know that the Alvalian Alchemist stuff works here.
Yeah. So it's and this is shit. This is out of character for something else. Transmutation is 50-50 here, right?
Yes.
Okay. I don't know. I don't trust myself enough to try to have enhance ability for you. I'm sorry, gosh.
You're good.
It's transmutation.
But overall, try to convince the Grey Knights to go with us to help us deal with the Fiend.
That is the biggest
Send the Griffin's Guard with our shit.
We need to convince the Grey Knights. We need to make sure that's successful.
Right, but once we have a fully established plan, we can do the role.
Yeah. But yeah, that's
so we try to convince the Grey Knights to help us take on the Fiend. Once we have done, once we're on our way to start doing that, we send the Griffin's Guard with our travel supplies to head towards King's Peak. Once we have dealt with the Fiend situation, because depending on their travel pace, how many days would it take Griffin's Guard to take our ship to King's Peak?
I believe it would take 2 weeks to get it to King's Peak.
Yeah, so we would have 2 weeks to try to take out this fiend.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's our
good.
timetable. It's 2 weeks.
Sounds good.
So we have 2 weeks to spend to try to take out the fiend, irregardless if the Grey Knights want to come or not.
That's fine.
And then after that, after our time myriad is up, once we have completed our mission, whatever comes first, we then take the Alvalian Alchemist Tower to spend 2 hours to get ourselves to the location we need to be in.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, no, that sounds like to utilize the Alchemist Exchange to the most efficient way we can with this kind of situation. So, I mean, I think it's a good plan. I think I like the idea. I didn't like the idea of splitting the party on these 2 days. I kind of want to deal with this with full force of us.
Yeah, and the best way to make sure we're consolidated is making sure we're taking full advantage of the tower.
Yeah, exactly. So, and that's what the tower's for at this point. So, I like this one.
If anybody else has other ideas to make the idea even more sound, go for it. But otherwise, that might be the plan.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think. I mean, to be honest, I think it's a good plan. I don't think anything's to end. And I think the Griffin's Guard is a good choice to go towards the goblins because that's more of their kind of fight.
Yeah.
It's humanoids. It's kind of what they deal with flocks and stuff like that. You know, it's kind of more and also in a urban environment. If it's like ruins in the fortress, then they've done that before. So
I should also eventually, like, since we do have 2 weeks, she would try to contact Kelly to be like, do you have any interesting things you can, like, throw us so we can use? Give me grenades! I need all the grenades!
Hey Kelly, we're about to go to war in 2 weeks. You got something?
I know, you got something, girl?
Yeah. Also, this, I guess then, if that's kind of solidifying the plan, even though I know we can change it, Valerie's got to be in the group because of the companion class. Who do we want as do you want Grayson or do you want?
It seems like Grayson, Willem, and Wint are right here. Probably one of those 3, just for the sake of it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we.
And if we were to try people that are new to combat, just for the sake of the meta-wise of experimenting with more people in the group, Willem. Especially since we know how mobile this motherfucker is.
Mm-hmm.
It's more about how close to the egg is this cave system in terms of how far the egg reaches, which we'll be finding out.
Yeah. Yeah,
so there's a decent chance that the egg effects might be fucking it up, so Willem could also be a terrible choice.
Yeah, if anything, I mean, Grayson has fought creatures before, so he might be able to help us do shit. I don't know.
I would say that who's been toe to toe with that thing, and Zelda mentioned this. That thing hits hard, hits a lot, and it's very fast.
Yeah, so
it's gonna require some tanks.
Yeah.
Not just one, because one will eventually be focused down by this thing. And we'll get through the resistances.
So, if anything, I'm pretty sure the moment we say, hey, Tirana's over there by King's Peak, he'll be like, don't worry, I'll make sure they get there fast.
Yeah. So, I would say, in this case, again, we send Willem, because I think Will and Tirana for King's Peak would be fucking hilarious and glorious.
Yeah. That is fair. So then, between
send
Grayson
Willem with them.
I think Gwen would like to be in a more serious situation besides a thing that she can one-tap Seth.
Yeah.
And of course, we might need more support than just a wall and a monster. No offense, Grace.
Right. So, it's a case of either we go with Gwen, who might be a anti to this thing, most likely, or we bring a tank for Grayson.
Yeah.
And then we save, and then we do Willem and Tirana for King's Peak because that.
Oh wait, no, I think Grayson has, because he's a hobgoblin, he might have a little bit more sway.
That in the hand too, exactly.
Yeah,
so
I think. We'll figure out that portion later. I guess
Later, yeah.
We should just do the roll, see if the Grey Knights will come first.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
So.
let's do that, and then we can think about party comp.
I will say, just because you managed to make a great breakthrough, and be like, if you help us with this thing, we can eventually help you make a very good decision. Like, we'll help you out with the egg. You know, this is, if it's your business, we can at least help you do it as efficiently as possible. We know we're not gonna grab, like, we know we can't negotiate for it, but we can at least help you. We have more expertise than people originally thought with Darkins.
But yeah, Zarman will turn to the Dragonborn. Well, we certainly have quite a few things active in the area at the moment, and you are just guarding an egg. And we are planning on sending our detachment of protection from Monte la Cache to start moving ahead towards King's Peak for the activity happening there. We would like your assistance in a matter involving the fiend that caused the destruction last night.
Roll me that persuasion check.
And of course, we will be housing your egg as we do this. If that matters at all.
Keeping it in mind in the DC.
Finally found it.
Okay. Any buffs from anybody else? Because that's my concentration.
I could try to see if I can get enhanced ability off. What do I have to roll?
50/50.
Percentile die, but make sure you say high or low to chance as he rolls it.
Yeah.
So high or low, Sapphire?
I have a feeling I want to say low, but a part of me says high. So I don't know.
Yeah, commit the one. Commit the one.
I feel like the first one that came to me was low.
Okay. Chance to roll it.
Yo!
Hey! Hey!
17! I get it! Enhanced ability
Okay, so what does the eagle one do?
Makes you look very clean, I think, number one. And number two, it gives you advantage for charisma.
Okay. Anybody else got anything to help? Or that about it?
I mean, I could also do my seeking help. I have that. So she would just mention what I had stated before. We do seem to have a little bit more expertise that we can hand you, and I mean lend you when it comes to this dragon egg. So if you help us out with this thing, then we owe you a favor, and you can call it in. We're planning on going towards Ancora Bay, so if you need any extra protection by your headquarters, you have us there.
And throw out the ability you were thinking of, Sapphire.
Oh, sorry.
For chance to say it.
Enhance ability.
No, not enhanced ability. The other one you were mentioning.
Oh, my seeking help. Nah, it's just I have an expertise die in seeking help. Persuasion checks. Peacekeeping and seeking help.
Yeah.
So
I guess I can give you.
I mean, I'm already having advantage. So.
Well, that's why I think I can give you a higher expertise die. That's what I think what we're doing, because if you already have expertise and I'm giving you something that I have expertise in, then it just increases the die size, right?
I wouldn't know. You happen to know that, Chance?
It did with the arcane check.
Yeah, I think that's how we were doing it before.
It's just
I'll wait for Chance's approval before I increase the die a little bit more.
Yeah, that's just kind of what I was end up doing.
Yeah, no, you can increase it off of that. That makes
Cool.
Okay, I have room to increase it one more if anybody's got anything.
I don't got guidance, my dude. I'm sorry.
I mean, technically, this is
This is a persuasion check.
Yeah.
Hold on a minute. So I'm at a D4 normally, D6 off of that. I got advantage, D8. Yeah, I have room for one more expertise die if somebody's got something
I might. Let me just get a thing.
Nina flexes. They're like, "Oh shit, you're right."
That's, I think, essentially what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, Nina flexing inspires people, so
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Let me just find the exact feature.
Yeah, I think there's actually a feature for it, so I'm curious.
Actually, no. Let me.
If you find it, I'll wait on the roll for them.
we're-
It sounds very glorious.
If we're talking about that, I think I know what you're eventually thinking about. Let me do my auspicious collaborator is the feature. Yeah.
Warrior boon imposing prowess. When an ally you see attempts to make a deception persuasion check, you can use your reaction to support them with an intimidating display of strength or unsettling glower. Your ally rerolls the check, gaining an expertise die on the roll. So if the first one fails, I could reroll it a third time. Okay, gotcha. With another expertise die.
And an expertise die. So you get.
Okay, so the other one, yeah, so I get 3 tries, 2 of which with d8s, the last one with a d10.
Alright, let's see these rolls.
So 26 for that one.
Okay.
And then if it failed, I'll just roll it in case that failed.
It did
Just
not.
because I want to see the number.
I want to see it.
Yeah, there we go.
Yes, okay, so in
Oh,
case
it would have been
he-
an advantage. There we go.
In case he was a demigod, he would have been swayed. But he happens to be a mere mortal. And so, as a result, he ends up looking and says that this is amenable.
Hell yeah.
Great night's night. I didn't hit the bed. I didn't wake up earlier in the morning, but I wanted to see that roll.
Yeah.
There we go.
That's awesome. Alright, so Grey Knights, us, Fiend, and then saving the Grayfin's Guards, Ford, and me and there with teleportation.
Yeah, we have a 2-week time limit to get the fiend here.
Alright, sounds good.
There we go. We got it.
Good night, guys.
Mhm.
This has been fun discussing and planning, and now I'm interested to see how this is gonna go with the Fiend.
Yep. Now we have to
I'll see you
figure
guys
out
later.
who the fuck to bring with Val.
Yep.
Woo.
Yep.
Who the fuck to bring to King's Peak?
And I think that's where you're planning on wrapping up the session. I know I have a chance.
Yeah, that's where we were wrapping it up. We just wanted to get the discussion out and line things up for next session.
Exactly,
So.
no, that's why. Like, I think it'll. There is, since it's gonna take them 2 weeks anyways to go there. I know at least Willem definitely should help speed travel along, but.
But yeah, overall, I just laughed at the turning point of the discussion of we need to think with Portal.
Let's go.
Okay, also though, as that whole thing was going down, I found the Techno Viking video of. Have you ever seen that? It's just like a guy at some kind of German festival, and he just has Viking energy and is like techno dancing down the street.
Oh, yeah.
And that's what Nina did to help with Zarman's persuasion
Yeah,
check.
just, oof, oof.
But yeah, 26 on the first try, 31 on the second. That's fucking funny.
Mm-hmm.
I'm super excited for the day that you end up convincing a god to listen to you with a role like that. So it's good.
That's what Nina was doing.
Yes.
Oh, I remember it now. Okay.
Yes, they're like, oh shit, look at those moves. We could have that on our side too. Wow.
But yeah, the important bit of that spell is the fact that it can, boost me up to a D10.
Mm-hmm. I mean, you spoke.
I like the D10.
You spoke with the voice of a dragon. Of course, everybody be like, "Oh shit, this boy is shining." Wow.
And the other question I was about to ask the dragon before we started cutting off to trying to sort that out. I wanted to ask, what is your desire to the dragon? And of course, the upside of sending Griffin's Guard with our shit, the mountain area for us, is that they'll be there now.
Mm-hmm.
Which is the biggest thing I wanted there. I'm like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Took me a minute. Wait a minute. The tower. I forgot about it.
Yeah.
I haven't been in it in so long.
Mm-hmm. That tower. Let's go. Just like, don't send my little tiny turtles against this fiend. I trust them, but they're probably useful somewhere else too.
Right, it's not their specialty,
Mm-hmm.
and they feel inclined to want to protect this area. What is the best way for them to be able to protect this area than stopping a fucking army from building up next door?
Right?
That's something that they can deal with a little bit easier, considering their actions in Griffin's Perch.
They got the three, I don't want, for some reason I'm thinking their names the Inglorious Bastards. The Trio of Bastards, which can cause a big ruckus. Oh, yeah.
We just need to somehow get the Trio of Bastards a pickup truck, and then that'll be unstoppable.
That sounds like something Kelly could make for him. Actually,
And then one of them's on the back with a minigun.
Actually, that just sounds like something Kelly's probably just done. She just doesn't know what to do with a pickup truck. It's like, yeah, I just found it. I don't know what to do with it. It's actually, if anything, I think something Cat could help with. Because I think he's more of the engineer, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so Cat can help them out with that.
Yeah, she's about the explosives now.
Yeah, which she provides the minigun. Ugh. And yeah, Keck makes another invention for them. Calls it by something. I don't know what.
Just because I'm curious, did you ever find that one hard drive you were looking for, Rachel, before you moved?
I did, and then I moved.
Oh, no.
Yeah, no, that's right. So
I think I just
you
need
don't
to
have
accept
game
that I
yet.
don't need to keep all these audiobooks on my computer and just delete them.
Have you listened to any of them yet, or?
Not yet. I can just pirate them later.
That's fair. Either that or get another drive now.
Ooh, can't have too many drives. Oh boy.
Shut up and drive.
Give me these terabytes. Let's go.
Jesus, take the wheel.
Love you.
Oh. It's probably to Rachel.
Oh, my pizza. My fucking roommate is getting pizza, and I almost told her I wanted children and pineapple.
Oh.
I want chicken and pineapple.
Oh no.
Children, chicken with an asterisk. And then respond with the third test. You know what? Never mind. Same thing.
What is chicken but a child bird? Right. If anything, it's a
You know
child
what?
dinosaur.
Same difference.
I know, it's a child dinosaur if you're really thinking about it.
God, that line fucking kills me. What is worse than a rapist? Pulls out a child. A child. It's meant to say a child rapist.
No.
A child. So fucking brutal.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Chance, you didn't hear, but I am now on halfway through season 10 of Supernatural.
He did unmute at some point, but I'm guessing he and Sarah are just having the fun talk.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
It's fun.